I'm Alan Spears with Occupy Democrats, and in some stunning breaking news, the former president of the United States, Barack Obama, just dropped a massive bombshell on the Trump campaign. Now, as you are well aware at this point, President Biden has officially stated that he is no longer seeking re-election, and rather endorsed his vice president, Kamala Harris, to be the next Democratic nominee. Now, the Democrats have been somewhat divided for a number of weeks now, especially following the performance of President Biden in the first presidential debate against Donald Trump. But with President Biden's announcement and with Harris stepping up to the plate to be the presumptive Democratic nominee, the Democrats have once again united behind her, and we're seeing a new surge of energy and vigor within the party. Now, while there still might be Democrats who wish to challenge Harris at the upcoming Democratic convention, there have not really been any major names that have popped up as of late, and in fact, those that would be the most highly contested, such as Governor of California Gavin Newsom or Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg, both of them have said that they fully endorse Kamala and they are not interested in running themselves. In fact, in just over about a week's time, Harris has managed to cultivate a massive amount of endorsements from prominent Democrats everywhere. However, there has been one noticeable absence among those endorsements. Now, this is what brings us into our breaking news today, as there has been wide speculation as to why former President Barack Obama has yet to vocalize or publicly support Kamala Harris as the next nominee. Now, there has been plenty of speculation as to why President Obama has not yet endorsed Harris. Anything from just not liking her or having personal beef to thinking that she is incapable of beating Donald Trump. But we have just learned in this breaking news that all of the widespread speculation of any issues Obama might have had with Harris are in fact false, and that his endorsement is well on the way, pending a few different things that may turn out or happen over the next few weeks. In fact, we actually get some of the reasoning as to why President Obama has yet to endorse Harris. Now again, Obama is one of the only high-profile Democrats in the country who has yet to publicly endorse Harris. Many of the party leaders have stepped forward to publicly back her, as we mentioned earlier. Now, the people familiar with this discussion didn't know the precise timing of his endorsement. However, one of them said that Obama didn't want to overshadow President Biden's moment, especially prior to his Oval Office address just the other night. Now, another person close to the discussions between Obama and Harris stated that they wanted his endorsement to stand on its own moment, rather than being swept up in the momentum that Harris is already experiencing in her campaign. However, according to the breaking article on NBC, Obama privately has fully supported Harris's candidacy and plans to endorse her soon, according to those close to him. Essentially, I think this means that if the energy or the momentum in Harris's campaign starts to slow down or stall, President Obama could come out or come forward publicly endorsing Harris and hopefully re-energizing it just a bit more, giving it some more momentum if needed. However, if the past week is any sort of example, I don't think we're at risk of Harris running out of energy or her supporters lacking enthusiasm anytime soon. Now, we've also learned that aides to Obama and Harris have discussed the arranging of these two to appear together on the campaign trail, though no date has been set just yet. Now, to sort of encapsulate all of this, I do believe that first and foremost, Obama didn't want to step into the limelight again and possibly step on the toes of President Biden, especially prior to his address from the Oval Office, and to take away from this moment of great self-sacrifice. It is very important to remember that President Biden is still the president and will be for the next 5 months, and has continued to do incredible work and serve this country. And seriously, just ask yourself, would you ever expect Trump, or really any of these Republicans, to ever show any semblance of self-sacrifice like President Biden has? Of course not. Furthermore, I do believe it is entirely likely that Obama was just waiting for the Democratic National Convention to take place and waiting for Harris to become officially the Democratic nominee. After all, we have seen a lot of shakeup in the election so far, and for Obama to throw his support behind a candidate that perhaps would turn around and not ultimately be the candidate and having to re-endorse a different one, you can see how this could quickly get confusing and spiral out of control, especially in terms of PR. And again, like the article mentions, Harris already has a ton of energy behind her, both from Democrats and her supporters, and just the general public being relieved to have a bit of a younger candidate on the stage. Again, support this notion, and according to the article, quote, President Obama looks forward to helping Democrats up and down the ballot make the case to voters this fall, said Eric Schultz, a senior advisor to Obama. Our strategy will be based on driving impact, especially where and when his voice can move the needle. Again, this screams to me that Obama was simply waiting for the noise to die down, as we've had a very eventful past couple of weeks, and we wouldn't want his endorsement to get lost in the noise. Again, according to the same article, during their conversations in recent days, Obama has offered Harris his counsel on setting up a campaign and on other aspects of mounting a successful bid for the White House, which he has done twice, the people familiar with their discussions have reported. From Obama's perspective, Harris has taken on a lot in a very short time, no kidding. And he sees himself as a resource and a sounding board for her as she navigates a high-stakes campaign with just about 100 days until Election Day. Obama views his utility in the campaign as helping unify his party and moving Democrats forward, and he's expected to be a fixture on the campaign trail this fall. Again, all of this speculation from the right about Obama not having confidence in Harris is just that it is speculation and now proven baseless and false. Obama can see the overwhelming unity of both congressional Democrats and Democrats countrywide and knows that having his endorsement could be more impactful potentially at a later point rather than just piling on to those that have already come through in the past few days. And for some perspective here, none of the former Republican presidents have ever endorsed Donald Trump for president. In fact, it would seem that all of them have done their best to not even appear in the same room as Trump. So again, whether Obama's endorsement comes later today, whether it comes later this week, or whether it comes at the tail end of October or early November, it is clear that Obama knows what he's doing. He had 2 successful campaigns, and he knows how to strategize and effectively use his abilities and his support. So again, it is clear that the energy and supporters are only continuing to grow for Harris as Trump and his base are continuing to shrink, and that is fantastic news for all of us. But more important than former presidents or big name celebrities' endorsements is your vote. So if you haven't, please register to vote and mark your calendars for Tuesday, November 5th, where your voice will be heard, and hopefully, if we're lucky, the prosecutor will beat the convict.